There, Leo. Looks like you're going to have a lot of change in January 2026 in your area of life we call work. Work changes are on the way and career changes are on the way, and the seed planting for some significant shifts that begin in January and roll out for the first 3 or 4 months of the year. We can also talk about the ingress of Neptune into Aries, where he'll be for 14 whole years in a beautiful flow to you from the ninth house. Some of you Leos will find that your spiritual path is going to start changing into more mystical, magical areas of reality over the next while, and you'll get the first taste of that in the last part of January. Welcome here. If you're new, my name is Lori Lothian, and today's forecast is helping you time your best 2026 January, listening for sun, moon, and rising. What does it mean? Your sun sign is going to be about your career purpose and your deep core nature and who you really are. Your rising sign is your avatar in the simulation of life. The game player is your sun. The avatar in the game is the ascendant, but the rising sign ascendant is very accurate for circumstantial changes for most people, most of the time. The moon is how you feel and think about your life. And then on the top of that whole thing, it relates to home. Sun relates to career, purpose, and the moon relates to matters of home. I'm just trying to get comfortable after a long day of recording these videos, and it's getting pitch black here, and it's only 3:45 in the afternoon in Canada, Vancouver. So bear with me. The light is getting weird, but I got to get this out for you guys. If you are new here and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. And if you like this kind of content, share with friends and family. The only thing I want to share as a promotion to time your best life is all of 26. I have 2-hour videos for each side, 2+ hours, usually 2:25, 2.5 hours. That's the best thing you can get. Like, it's the next best thing to getting a reading with me in person, because I don't do those very much anymore. And so you'll have navigational guidance to time your best life in 2026 with those videos with timestamps inside the video. Download audio, download the video, watch the video, share with friends and family. If you want to buy the bundle, it's on sale for $55, 12 videos, more than 24 hours of video content, and my PDF guidebook for the year ahead. If you want to just, as 26 pages, if you want to just buy your one sign, it's only $22. But of course, if you want to listen for sun, moon, and rising, it makes more sense, if you ask me, to buy the entire bundle. Okay, so I have been thinking about how we're all going to feel as Venus, Mars, and the sun reset together in a triple conjunction. The Venus Mars is about 35 years rare. You know, the sun is there, so we get a solar reset for the goddess of love and money, and Mars, the goddess of change, god of change and decisions. And this kind of reset's pretty darn cool, and it's pretty darn rare. So I'm going to show you the chart, and I'm going to take you through the sky over the next 25 minutes together. Take some notes and come back to watch the video later if you want to see what has actually transpired. This is you, Leo. This is what you look like. Let me make you bigger. And here you are. And so for you, you're beginning the month of December 30th, like just before we head into January 1st, with a very Mercury, fast-moving Mercury, in a square to Neptune. So on December 30th, 31st, January 1st, those kinds of days, you're going to perhaps, right, feel confused, right? So New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, January 1st, after New Year's Eve, a little confusion coming through the sky about something to do with your long-term chunks of money that you have like invested, or banks and loans and mortgages, especially things like credit cards and credit card debts and taxes, and maybe things that confuse you, or you're uncertain about your situation with your debt load, maybe even some confusion with some secrets being spilled, or even some uncertainty or confusion around the health of a pet. Now that's just going to be like New Year's Eve kind of thing and the first day of January, and then it begins to leave. And as we move forward, we get into the next narrative, which is this triple conjunction. And for the first 9 days, 10 days of January, it's all about Venus and the sun and Mars joining together. Now, Venus does this in Capricorn every 4 years, 2014, 18, 22, 26. And it's always at roughly the same time of year. Let's just call it like, January or late December. And she resets a button for you here, like to start fresh in your job, in your work, in your health, in situations with pets and situations with rentals. rental properties as a landlord or a tenant. And as she resets you here, and debts, money debts, she does it every 4 years, but she gives you the most, what would you call it? Like the notes, the Coles notes or the Cliff's notes. She lets you know what it's truly about pretty soon after, like within the first, by the time you get to February, you'll totally get the lay of the land, and it unrolls through the sky for about 9.5, 10 months. So over those timeframes of the next, by October, you'll see significant changes in the work you do in the world. And that's going to be probably the most important part of this story, because she rules at Uranus, shock and awe, but also in well star Algol in the 10th house of career, also decapitation. I mean, you could get fired from your job, but you'd be happy to go because something better is coming to you, especially financially. So there can be some major changes in the work environment, major changes in the job sector for you coming off this Venus reset. And with Mars co-present with her ruling your 4th house of home, changes in job lead to changes in home, changes in home lead to changes in job, changes of residence. Also, this is really a good setup for a really important rental opportunity. You may purchase a property and rent it. You may rent a property and or purchase a property. The sky's kind of got rent and purchase and all of that bundled in here. It's like combinations of things. You could get ideal refinancing on a property. You could get like a massively good deal, a loan to buy a property. You could rent a property, or you could like that you own. So it's kind of opening up on kind of a landlord vibe here. You might buy an investment property, that kind of thing, and rent it out. So we see a lot of that story unfolding through your sky, and it's beginning to emerge as a possibility in the first 10 or 11 days of January. I mean, it could be something as simple as, you see a house on the market that you've always wanted to buy or rent, a place that you've always wanted to rent, and opportunities start to bubble up to consider whether you want to move forward on that. Now, there'll be some delays in a way because Venus is invisible all the way through to mid-February and Mars till mid-March, but all said and done, there's momentum for these themes here, including changes of job. Now, when it comes to health routines, yes, Mercury rules the house of what you put in your mouth. South Node says, let it go. Release it. Jupiter's in the house of addictions, retrograding. Maybe it's time to get rid of that addiction. Maybe that you don't need the Haagen-Dazs at night. Maybe the cheese puffs or the mac and cheese isn't your best bedtime snack. Maybe it should not be the wine, the weed, right? Get rid of whatever isn't right for you. Well, I think that this is a very strong reset. Venus rules pleasures. Right? What gives you pleasure? And this is a house of health. Mercury rules what you put in your mouth, and he's there with Venus. So I'd say for some of you, this is a dietary reset coming through the sky in January. And it's probably dry Jan for quite a few of you, where you're going to quit alcohol for a month and take a break from that escapist substance and take your dietary habits far more seriously. South Node is what you let go of in your diet. South Node also says you're letting go of a line of work. You're moving away from some kind of income earning direction as you're going to get ready, thank you to January, to begin to navigate or pivot in another direction. We're going to get to some golden opportunities in your career that could look like new work opportunities, but hang in there while we finish the Venus and the Mars story. Venus, when she resets you on the 6th of the month and comes into that conjunction, has collateral benefits to spin towards a change of location to do with neighborhood, more travel opportunities, particularly connected to work, more success in your writing and communicating endeavors, if that's a part of how you work in this world. She also could open up a new direction and new beginnings in your career in particular, because she rules that house. And then Mars is next. But before we talk about Mars, on January the 3rd, a new moon will occur, full moon will occur in your 12th house with lucky Jupiter there. Full moon conjunct Jupiter is a blessed new beginning, but it could be a new beginning in how you make money in borderless income digital revenue. Could be a new beginning in your spiritual life, your contemplation, or yes, the ending of addictions. It could be like a fulfillment, like a completion of a seed that you planted, therefore a fulfillment or fullness, not really a new beginning, I apologize, a fulfillment. You planted a seed back in June or July, regarding these things, and now they're coming to like a harvest season. With a new moon, full moon, and Jupiter conjunct, Jupiter could say, well, we're going to translate this moon, because the moon is the boss of Jupiter here. He's happy here. He's exalted. But the moon may say, we want to translate this or move the potency of it around the sky with Jupiter's help to the house of children, romantic love, creative, artistic, and entrepreneurial endeavors. And we might try to translate it to more chunky money. That means investments and royalty income and passive income and shared resources with another. And that does include inheritances. If you need to pay off debt, you could get some inheritance money coming your way that allows you to do that, most likely from an elder in your family system, quite an older person. That could start to open up as a visible possibility for you in the first 3 months of the year, but January would give you clues that this could be true. Now, when we move forward, we're going to talk about Mars, and Mars is going to really hit the nail on the old head. And on the 9th of January, co-join the sun at 19 degrees of Capricorn. And this is going to be, and Venus is there in that triple conjunction. So it's very auspicious in a way, a very powerful reset. It's going to take up to 2 years to fulfill, but you should see around the time of this conjunction, a day or two before and after, signals from the sky, clues from the universe about what this is actually going to bring you. If you want to go back in time, you would have to go back to all of 94 and 95, because it was the end of December of 93 that this conjunction happened in your work house, health house, pet's house, right? Now, I don't want to worry you, but Mars and the sun co-joining could be the death of a pet. Okay, that's true, but an elderly pet next to, because Saturn's in a sextile and ruling this conjunction from the house of death. So an elderly pet could be getting ready to leave. And this conjunction is on the 9th, but it could unfold in the days and weeks around that time. The other thing about it is that you have to go back to see like things like about rentals, pets, debts, health and work matters. Did you have major changes in those areas of your life between 1994, all of 94 and 95, or all of 1979 and 1980, because those 2-year windows that I've just described to you are going to be a lot like what is happening here from January of 26 to January of 2028. Yeah. So you're going to have to compare notes. I do have a Mars webinar coming up. It's on the 14th of January. Come join me there. It's not free because it's a lot of like an hour and a half of content, but it'll help you use this Mars tool with a lot more layers that I can give you here, because whatever changes are happening here are changing you financially in a much more positive manner. So as Mars is conjoining the sun, he will try to translate the 6th house reset button to bring you some possible professional opportunities abroad, chance to travel the world, maybe connecting you to opportunities that would bring you a change of home. He rules your real estate house. And again, I could see rentals. I can see buying and selling. I can see changes regarding home, whether you're going to add an extra home or move your home. I can't tell you what it is, but there's an increase around land, property, real estate, financing, refinancing, mortgages, chunky money, and inheritance. All of that is unfolding here in January through to, let's say, March, because it takes till the middle of March for all this to fully ripen. We need Mars to be visible. Now, one of the cool things about the sky is Mercury continually hanging here. So information and news about refinancing, debts, property, rentals, pets, really prominently indicated during the month of January, as Mercury will be in this part of your sky all the way through until January 21st. As we continue to go forward, we're going to see something really cool happening, but I just want to mention something. Jupiter witnesses all of this from here, right? And of course, we see this triangle forming as every planet opposes Jupiter. There's a lot of intensity around something you're trying to work with in the first week or two of January, to do with healing chironic wounds around having a purposeful and meaningful like I'm on purpose and I'm living a meaningful life. I feel spiritually aligned, especially with maybe work as well. And there's something like really coming out of the depths, like your dreams, your solitude, your inner life, maybe teachers, guides, gurus, or mentors helping you see the way to go. That could be a story for you in the first 10 or 11 days of January. Now, as we continue forward, right, and we move into the next story, I like this a lot. We're going to get a mini grand trine that continually reforms itself. And that's going to be available starting you can start to feel it coming on around the 13th. Around the 13th. right? It's faint, but by the 14th, it's in place. So 14th to the 20th of the month, right? That week, that second week of the month, no, third week of the month, you are noticing that this is very lucky. This brings luck and opportunity and flow and ease in what part of your life? Well, first of all, your career and reputation, your work and your money. Career, reputation, work, and money. Luck, ease, opportunity, and growth and good stuff. And it's interesting because you got like surprises or unexpected developments. But on the other hand, there's a bit of a wealth star when algal works well for us. But you can have unexpected changes, yet it opens up doors of new opportunity in your work and your career path. And then you'll also get all this flow to like banks, loans, mortgages, severance packages, sign-on bonuses, investment monies, money you share with a spouse, money you have from inheritances, all of that. So there's some kind of shift going on, January 14th to the 21st. It is an auspicious shift. I don't know how to interpret the invisible planets holding this corner other than to say it means a bit of a delay. So when the planets become visible again, like Venus in February and Mars in March, you'll see the full unfoldment of whatever this is into the tangible and real world. For example, you might be thinking of changing or quitting your job, but it doesn't really manifest until March, right? But when it does, it brings something good to you and it brings a lot of freedom because you might want to be free of some area of work. This Uranian thing to break free or feel free of some line of work or some thing that you do in this world for a livelihood. So Venus is the first one to hold the triangle, and then it will be the sun, then it will be Mars and Mercury. So there's like 4 planets creating the same lucky energy for you. So first is Venus. So you'll feel Venus on the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Watch it happen. So she's kind of there. 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, Venus is really in charge of it. She's been taking the helm. And what she seems to be owning is a surprise around work and career. This positive. 14th to the 17th, and may indicate some chunks of money and some financial good things for you. And she rules your career house. So why the hell not? She also rules your house of neighbors and neighborhood and travel. So some changes there unexpectedly and surprisingly as well, maybe on collateral benefits. But then she moves forward into your sign of Aquarius and she'll hit up Pluto, and that's a wealth yoga. Your significant long-term marriage partner may come into some wealth, or you might come into contact with a very wealthy person who's very powerful. Either one. That's going to be playing out all the way through from January 6th, 17th, 18th through to February 10th when Venus hangs with Pluto in your 7th house. Now, with this energy of the sun now carrying the load of the triangle, and you'll see that being activated 17th, 18th, and 19th, the sun is bright, and we can see the sun, obviously, and it rules Leo. So your Leo sun, your career, Leo moon, your home life, Leo rising, everything about you is having a huge, energetic, positive experience, and it will connect you to career and to work and to money. All right, that's it. Like, I don't know what else to say. It looks good. And the sun is just giving you a light on the situation because don't forget, all the other planets are invisible. And then we have the sun moving in with this whole stellium here. Now, we need to talk a little bit about the fact that once the sun starts shining in your Aquarius sky, there's a lot of attention you're going to pay to, if you're a single, you'll be looking for a relationship that's powerful and transformative. And with all of this happening, this is a story that you could be coming into a new relationship that's going to rock your world, transform your life, and shake you upside down and inside out. But just before that solar ingress happens, we have a new moon here, and that is going to be on the 18th. So we get a fresh start and a new beginning in work, career, money, debt, pets, and rentals, and it will unfold over 6 months. And then we get the sun moving here. It's still a new moon, fresh starts, new beginnings, in significant long-term love. If you are a single Leo looking for love, look no further than this. However, Pluto is a death bell or knell, and Venus is love, the death of a love. And no, I don't mean physically, but could be, but either metaphorical or real death of a love partner, but it could also be like a divorce, right? And that North Node means gains from shared resources from the spouse. So there's this intensity here if you're with someone. If you're single, it could definitely be a new beginning in a relationship, bringing that in. New beginnings in work, new beginnings in relationships. finding a new love partner. Pluto, the power of love, the love of power, highly transformative, and an intense new relationship could come for you based on the sky. You'd have to be careful if you start a new relationship in the month of January, I mean, after the 20th of February, the 10th, that you don't put that person on a pedestal and that they don't occupy all the oxygen in your room, because the sun, ruler of you, in the house of the other can often lead to the onset of a new relationship, but it could become codependent. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to move us back by an hour so that I don't lose your ascendant. And then we're going to talk about Mercury. So Mercury then takes the helm of the lucky triangle. So we want the triangle, it brings good stuff. Mercury is information and news, even if he's invisible. Phone calls, text messages, and emails maybe coming over the transom about the boss, about the work situation, about retirement money, investment money, maybe money for a tax situation, information that's positive. Mercury can bring you that news or information. Now, Mercury here can also be translating this triangle to some of his exact homes. So he could bring you a windfall, pennies from heaven, or some significant positive developments in your money coming from your career. And he can also translate the winds to something to do with earnings. Now, with the South Node, you're letting go of certain earnings paths, and Mercury translates the lucky energy to the where you've been letting go. So some of you could just be getting ready to leave a job or leave a career path, but there's something new that's coming right after. So if you're getting ready to quit or your job quits you in January, especially the third week, then I think something new will emerge pretty quickly by mid-February, thanks to Venus's support. So let's see how that goes. We want her visible in the sky. Yeah. And there's a gorgeous, like, almost like, I don't know, guys, Mars will rise in March in your 8th house. And that could be like, holy man, if you're not going to suddenly go into the occult mysteries and start talking to the dead and making that kind of stuff happen, you're either getting money from a divorce settlement, a widowhood settlement, or you're getting money from an inheritance from your family of origin. You're going into something that's going to lush up your financial sector. And it's not just in March, it will last for 2 years after that. So keep that up. Come to my Mars webinar, learn about how to handle that cycle and what it means for you. So the next thing I want to mention is, of course, Mars and Mercury. The two of them together, right? Oh, excuse me. The two of them together here at 26 degrees of your Capricorn house on January 18th during the new moon, right? What a new moon we have there. Holy man. It's also going to be, if you watch this energy, right? Some kind of news that requires decisions and actions to create change. So as we see 18th, 19th, and 20th, look for news or information that's going to ask you to change your home, move your home, rent a home, buy a home. Could be about a pet. Could be about money. Could be about windfalls. These are weird, all options you have. But as soon as you get the news, the first thing you realize is you got to make decisions and take actions, because Mars will execute change. And finally, Mars will basically be the main driver of this little triangle of good luck and fortune. And he's exalted in your 6th house, and he rules your house of home, property, land, and real estate. And he's the domicile lord of your 9th house of foreign travel. So lots going on here. Some opportunities for professional travel, some opportunities for you have enough money to travel, some opportunities to travel for work, some opportunity to foreign lands, some possible positive news about an academic approval. You get accepted at a Oh, sorry. No, take all the travel out. Yeah, because Mars rules your travel house. And then Mars also rules your 4th house. And all I can say is this is the cleanest interpretation. Are you going to buy a home, rent a home, sell a home? This kind of vibe is going on here. And it really picks up steam in the last 10 days of January. But it all feels auspicious or fortunate. Now we're noticing that there's a stellium in your marriage house. Your long-term committed love partner is going to take up a lot of oxygen in the room. Or if you're starting to date someone, they do the same. You're paying a lot of attention to them, because it's terribly hard when you're the Leo and the sun is over there in the house of another. If you're not overly paying attention to a bunch of things going on in the life of a significant other, including potentially maybe, let me look at it. Well, I don't know what's going on, but you might be having to deal with a lot of stuff going on in the life of a partner. That's what I'm trying to say, including health challenges. On the other hand, if you have an audience and a marketplace and a client base, the public for your career, the people you serve, the clients and all of that, if that's a part of your wheelhouse of reality, this is a lot of energy going into that part of your life, right? Like you're really busy, focused on everyone out there, less on you, right? Momentum, discussions, information, transformation, wealth, but all about other people. This could just be something going on in the life of a significant long-term love partner, honestly, or you're forming a lucrative new business deal with a business partnership that's going to make you quite rich. Algol, well, star, hooked up to the whole thing. All right. On January 21st, I'm going back, Mercury is in the heart of the sun. This is a Kazemi reset button, and it's magical and it's powerful, and it can reset your reality when it comes to business partners, business deals, contractual agreements, matters to do with your marriage partner and a new beginning, but it's 6 weeks long, right? 6 weeks long to know the lay of the land. Could be an opportunity. This could open up for travel with siblings, travel with your marriage partner. This is also something to do with, like, if you wanted to lob something into the public, I'm going to send something out to my audience, my marketplace. I'm going to lob something into the world of my people I deal with, my public or my clients. I'd send an email or I'd send the message out or I'd post it on social media on that day. It would be very auspicious with a trine from Venus to your social media house and a Kazemi. So it's a good day to launch something into the public sphere if it's something that you need to do on January the 21st, and expect a positive result. Okay. And I sound like Crystal and of Breaking Point. So disappointed in that show lately. Moving on to the next piece of the story. January 21st to the end of the month has a few small but powerful jam-packed energies. It's not about a lot, but the little things that happen are pretty darn life-changing in some way. So as we go into this next phase of the story, you're very focused on your significant others, and they may be a little aggressive as well as passive aggressive or something, hiding the issues that are making them angry, thanks to Mars invisible. We can notice that Mars, just before this happens, just the day before, on the 22nd, trines Neptune, clearing some confusion you have around financial matters, spousal money, shared resources, inheritances, banks, loans, and mortgages, and debt elimination. Clarity and confusion is cleared, okay, around the 21st to the 23rd, or 20th to the 22nd. And then we move into that story. And next thing we have is Mars Pluto. When we get to January 23rd, right? And it will be exact on January 27th, and it will be over by February 1st. The whole world's going through something to do with very difficult energy. It could be very brutal energy. And I have an idea what it's about myself. But for you, you're not that. You have unstoppable willpower sometimes. You're driven and passionate, and you're using some energy that's beyond your own mortal self. However, it's not yours. It belongs to someone else. This isn't you. This is someone else who is acting unstoppable, determined, driven, and passionate, who's moving forward like in a way that nothing can stop them now. Could be your significant other. It could be a sibling 3 older than you, or a sibling 3 younger than you, who's unstoppable, driven, passionate, and moving forward in something throughout that time period that I mentioned, the 23rd to the end of the month. It's pretty exact on the 27th. And unfortunately, if your marriage is unstable, if you're in a long-term relationship, this could be a very intense closure, a very amazing, intense, challenging communication moment, which kind of wants to kill the relationship, and I don't know. It just could be that's in an unhappy longer-term relationship, this could close it down. So that last 10 days could close it down of the month of January. And, Mars rules your real estate and property. And there may be some arguments with your spouse that are absolutely god awful about disagreements about land, property, and real estate and financial resources, or about inheritance monies that you're entitled to that come from your family of origin or from their side of the family, the in-laws. And there's contention over that. So it's going to be a bit of a difficult last 10 days of the month. I'm not going to lie about it. It's what it is. Ain't gonna lie. And I think that the kind of intensity that Mars and Pluto are generating here can also bring up some of your childhood wounds and ancestral storylines that you've never resolved those childhood wounds. It's going to activate your mother, father, family of origin, growing up energies quite a bit. You're trying to move away from mom and dad and your siblings. You're trying to move away from your family of origin and be more independent, it seems, or clear the stuff out of your karmic junk box that you haven't finished up with because, you haven't resolved the things that happened when you were a child. And finally, the good news is, it should be good news. Mercury is news, information, and Venus is good. They're both invisible. So it may be good information you don't know about right away. Could take till February to find out what it is. But around January 28th, some good news is trying to come to you from somebody else. It could be from anybody, a wealthy person, a client, your significant other, a legal contract that's good news. You're going to get to sign on the dotted line and you're so grateful, especially if it involves land, property, and real estate. Well, whatever it is, it's good and it's information and it's news. It could be commercial transactions and good news. You're going to feel good about it. And I think you actually probably, even with an invisible Venus and Mercury, be aware of what this is around January 26th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 30th. Good news, good news, good news. It's pretty exact on January the 26th. And Mercury likes to deliver good news, and it could be good travel news, good news about a sibling. It could be good news about social media and websites and marketing and selling, stuff like that, being in that realm. Good news about career gains. Also good news about pennies from heaven or windfall energy. If you're going to get any windfalls or pennies from heaven, especially on the 28th, it might come through a sibling, one older than you, and you might be feeling like their luck is translating to your abundance. That could happen here as well. All said and done, though, remember that Uranus is trying to capitalize on a 7-year transit through your 10th house. And he's working with that triangle to bring a grand finale of positive change in the work environment from changes that began in 2018. So this is your grand finale. It looks to me mostly like it makes you a lot richer. One way or the other. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And if you like this kind of content, please do look below, by the way, for my Patreon community, my Substack column. It's free, Substack's free. But it's been a tough month in December. I've never gone through 1 week and had 100 subscribers. That would be 400 a month, right? I'm usually getting a minimum of, I don't know, minimum of 600, 500 subscribers a month, and sometimes even 1,000 a month. So something's going on with the algorithm. I'm worried because Steve Judd for 2 months hasn't moved more than he's trying to get past 129,000 subscribers. And he's been at that same spot for 6 or 7 weeks. Sometimes YouTube does some kind of punitive shadow banning, weird stuff. And I would say that I'm hoping that's not me. But could you help me out by liking and subscribing? It's really the subscribe that I'm worried about. My views are roughly the same. But if the subscriptions go down over time, the channel will actually stall. Channel stalls, you won't be getting my content in 2026. I'll be finding a different direction for my life. So I can't change YouTube's algorithm, but maybe if it's just a blip in the radar, maybe you guys can give me a boost, please. Liking and subscribing. This is a podcast. It comes out every month. I normally have 3,000 new subscribers every time I drop this thing. And I think I'm still trying to claw my way from November to 600. So something is going on with YouTube and my channel. Please help me out. Otherwise, I'm okay. I'm surrendered to the divine will. I'll move on to the next thing. So thanks, guys. Ciao. Bye.